in the town of Islip and a Republican town organization which some people consider the most powerful in Suffolk County. Phil Nolan told me earlier he believes he is going to win.
Carolyn is very much business as usual for Eastern Airlines here at Long Island MacArthur Airport.
In this mess, it's hard to tell exactly just what's what, unless you know what to look for. Here's a typical scene, for example, a lighter, a bottle cap, and some aluminum foil, all used to smoke crack. One firefighter did come in contact with some of this potentially hazardous material. As a precaution, he was taken to the hospital, but he has since been treated and released. As for any danger to the people crossing through here on the westbound LIE, police say it is safe, and we're looking right now at hazardous material crews checking to see what has leaked down there. And police say that the hazardous materials have been put away in drums where they will be stored and later analyzed.
Drug dealers and all you people who think you're going to kill cops, the law will get back at you someday. We're going to get back at them.
Police numbered over 10,000, but citizens also lined the streets surrounding St. James Church.
These three men met with a fourth male in an apartment in Queens where they planned the murder of a police officer.
It was more than the arrests of 2 murder suspects in Jamaica Friday. It was the police commissioner hammering the point home that 3 men had planned a police murder, had dared to take on the police force. And it was more than a sense of relief at the police station. It was a reaffirmation of police competence and a feeling that in the end, the drug dealers do not have control of the streets. Senator Albert Gore, Jr.
I am a leader. I have done the most with the least of anybody running.
And Governor Michael Dukakis.
Promising all of you that you get nachas from Dukakis if you vote for me.
The 3 Democratic presidential candidates came out of the headlines and into the company of Long Islanders.
There's a lot of people out there like me, my size and even bigger, and they're in a room just like I'm in a room.
It was a strange accident that gave Hudson renewed hope. He fell through this doorway and it took police hours to cut away the frame and free him.
Everybody, this is my baby, Travis Christian.
Straight from a victorious day in State Supreme Court, Nicole Smigiel, with the baby she gave up 2 days after he was born, returned to cheering neighbors.
I just want to say thank you to all the people that supported me. And,
Cheryl Pierson became a free woman after 106 days behind bars.
There are people here who have never seen doctors. This is definitely the real thing. The scope on this is phenomenal.
It's called Gate Cap, Civilian Action Program at the gate of the Army base. It begins at 10 a.m. every Tuesday, but the line begins to form hours before. On the surface, the capital of Honduras appears to be a bustling modern city in a country at peace, complete with urban housing, urban transportation, and urban overcrowding so severe the only grass grows on the telephone wires high above the narrow streets. All the conveniences, all the trappings, all the familiar sights of what by American standards is the urban norm in a country located midway between a civil war in El Salvador and a leftist regime in Nicaragua.
When you are walking around Tegucigalpa, you talk to the people, you'd never know her by talking to them. They don't think that there's a war going on anywhere. And we're within 80 miles of where the war zone is.
Elmer Dalmas, an American missionary in Honduras for the past 20 years, says the Honduran military is engaged in its own border combat with the Nicaraguan Sandinistas.
They know they're there protecting the country, protecting their borders, but no, the people don't realize that they're there and fighting until they see a wounded one come back.
Dalmas attributes the lack of awareness to a lack of information, education, and opportunity. The 4 daily newspapers have a circulation of 140,000 readers, and the literacy rate is 55%. Even here in Tegucigalpa, plumbing is non-existent in 30% of the homes. Water is rationed, and with a 12-year maximum jail term for murder, crime is on the increase. Many Hondurans blame the city's problems on the recent influx of Nicaraguan
refugees. It's estimated that between 150 and 200,000 Nicaraguans have found refuge here in the hills surrounding Tegucigalpa, but almost none have plumbing, electricity, or work, so they live in shacks in clusters, in some respects far worse than the farmers we saw in the mountains, but here in the capital city.
As far as beds, most of the people will sleep on a piece of cardboard under a table in the kitchen. The children will, the adults are all maybe 6, 8, 10 people in one room.
If Tegucigalpa is a microcosm for the problems of all Honduras, some political observers believe there are tough times ahead. Its population has doubled in a decade, and funding for health programs has not kept up. 4 years before the next presidential election, you can see the campaign is already on. You can also see anti-American, anti-Contra graffiti sprayed throughout the city streets. It is here in this strategically located country where the U.S. has been sending military aid since 1954, where humanitarian aid from the U.S. has totaled $122.8 million in 1986, where 7,600 reserve soldiers, including 650 from the Long Island Reserve Command, have been training and building a road.